let's talk about the Legal Problem Solving Toolkit. This is the second piece of assessment in this course. And as you'll know by now, one of the purposes of Introduction to Law is to introduce you to what it is to think like a lawyer, how to walk the walk and talk the talk. And a key part of being a lawyer is legal problem solving. And of course, you have your own approaches to problem solving that you've managed to use throughout your life. And what we're interested in is that transition between what you already know and what you're learning as part of your law program. This assessment item is really about your internal process. It's about what you've learned, about what you've pieced together and how you've applied. As such, there's no actual template or set format for this assessment item. The notes and resources that you gather in your toolkit will become very important for the third and final assessment item, which is the briefing paper. And in that assignment, you'll have a short period of time in which to solve a legal problem and to document the process by which you solve that problem. And obviously the resources, the theories, the ideas that come out of your toolkit will have a direct application in that. So, what are the sorts of things that you want to put in your toolkit? We refer to the idea of tools, strategies and theories, although you certainly can organise this in your own way and you can use whatever formatting that you think best represents your own understanding of legal problem solving. By tools, we're talking about things like the doctrine of precedent, the separation of ratio decidendi from obiter dicta, and believe me, this will make sense to you as we go on, or use of the purpose rule to understand legislation. These are the core principles, core tools that lawyers use in order to break legal problems down into their components and to provide a solution. When we're talking about strategies, we're talking about much broader issues. We're talking about things like using inductive reasoning, using analogies, ways of thinking and conceptualizing about problems that help you sort out what's a legal issue from what's not a legal issue and what options are available to solve a legal problem. And third, when we're talking about theories, we're really talking about ideas such as equality, rule of law, rights theory, things that you'll come across in this subject and in your other subjects that are key concepts, that are key aspects of the lawyer's worldview. And each of these will also have impact on the way in which you solve legal problems. Your final toolkit will be 2,000 words total. So each of the components will probably be fairly brief, but will also include references to further resources, to the books or the articles in which you found the information, or perhaps the websites where there's further tools and resources. This is really about you showing your own internal process, but also providing a resource for you later on when you come to actually solving problems. So it's a document that you can refer back to. And it's a document that you will continue to build later on in your study. This assignment also includes a short 200-word reflective statement. And this is the point where you look over your achievements for this semester, you look at your skills and knowledge you've gained, and you identify some gap in that knowledge. And you look at a concrete goal, an objective you want to achieve to fill that gap, to gain more skills. So for instance, you might feel as though you want to use the noting up facility in Ostling more efficiently. This is where you can actually check for recent developments in law, something the Americans called shepherdizing. And it's a very useful feature. But you might decide that you're going to spend some time with that feature and you're actually going to learn to use it more efficiently. You might want to say you're going to do some tutorials or whatever. The important thing is that you're actually being self-directed here. You're actually looking at your own accomplishments, you're actually being very self-critical, and you're actually then being able to set a definite and firm goal in how you're going to achieve those skills later on. So that's it. That's the quick version of the Legal Problem Solving Toolkit. We're going to elaborate on this a lot more in the forums as the term goes on. Just to quickly reiterate, we don't have a set format. We don't have a magical template that we're expecting that we're just mysteriously keeping from you. It's about your own internal process and your own learning. And as long as you can document and you can properly reference any of the sources that you use, these things will all be relevant to the way in which you solve problems. And these are things that we'll be able to give you feedback on before you come to do the final assessment piece. So, let's talk about this more in the forums.